So health equity really just means that everybody has a fair and just opportunity to be as healthy as possible. And essentially, it recognizes that based on some of the things I talked about earlier, everyone doesn't start on the same playing field. And it's unfortunate, but quite frankly, it's a fact in our country and quite frankly across the globe. Unfortunately, human beings aren't so nice to each other. We've made up differences between each other based on the color of our skin, which we know race is really a social construct. And so now we have inequities. And so if you start at a given point in time and all of the generational disadvantages and ongoing racism or structural inequities that someone may be faced with, if you really look at that person and look at communities, if you really want them to be healthy and have the same chance of being healthy, then you're going to have to put in a little effort, not little effort, quite frankly, it's a lot of effort to undo those structures and those systems that have been put in place, really not just for decades, but for centuries. And so next slide, this is not something that I created, but it's something that I love to show. And it really is a depiction of equity. And this really, it can make people uncomfortable because when we're talking about health equity and understanding the root causes of disparities and trying to strive towards health equity, the bottom line is equity does not mean equality. You can see there on the left, if you have someone who is put at a disadvantage, you can see that shorter person on the right. Well, if there's a fence and you give everyone one box to stand on, that person who's shorter, they still can't see over the fence. So you may be high-fiving yourself and thinking like, well, I divided everything evenly. Well, you're not factoring in the context of where people have been, what they're experiencing when you're addressing their health and their ability to be healthier. And so we really have to think about equity. Some people are going to need more. They're going to need more resources. And that's really what you have to address if you're gonna improve health disparities. And then I love the depiction on the right where it talks about liberation. Quite frankly, why do we need the fence anyway? Oftentimes we put these structures in place to really promote power and structure that have been in place for decades, but oftentimes you don't even need the fence at all. And equity and liberation on the right, it's everyone really wins. If you really break down the barriers and the systems, you don't have to take away from anyone else. We want everyone to be healthy. It's not about taking away from someone else to give someone else more. Everyone, including those who are wealthy or who come from privilege, we want those people. I want those people to be just as healthy as everyone else. I just recognize that because of historical context, it's going to take a different approach to make sure everyone has the same opportunity.